We lost 4 deals in a row. You have to learn how to stand up and move forward. Even though it's cold outreach, it's cold outreach with significant intent. This is what I like, this is what I don't like. And you want to over communicate that and make it super clear. You have to move on, right? This is the price that you pay for just being a recruiter. It happens, right? Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to talk about how I just lost over $200,000 in a single week. And it's not clickbait. If you're new here, guys, welcome. My name is Preston. I'm a professional recruiter running and scaling my own agency. Been at it for over a decade now. Just like many of you who are starting out, I just took the ultimate bet on myself in 2015 as a solo recruiter. Made the most money I ever did in my entire life, made over $500,000. And then I made that minimum every single year for the next 10 years. Grateful to say, done over $5 million on my own desk. And now we're scaling a profitable agency where we're working with the best brands out there. So what exactly happened? Well, we lost 4 deals in a row. This is super painful. I've lost deals. It happens in business, right? It happens in recruitment. You can't win them all. But this is the first time that we actually lost 4 placements in a row. And by goodness, it is painful. And the pain never stops, even over a decade doing this. And it's still hurting. I'm still crying inside, but you got to suck it up, man up, and keep moving forward. And like I told you, first of all, you can't win them all. And for those who are like, I want to win them all, great. But that's not absolutely realistic. You're going to lose them all. But what we do is we increase our probability of winning as much as we can, right? So this has definitely been a learning experience. This has definitely been kind of, hey, a first time for everything. Unfortunately, I'd rather do 4 deals placed successfully, not lose 4 placements. So number one, when it happens, there's things that you can do about it. So I want to use this as a constructive video instead of saying, hey, just cry, suck your thumb and feel sorry for yourself. The market doesn't care about your feelings. You have to learn how to stand up and move forward. But instead of just being a cliche motivational video, there are actually things that you can do in recruitment when you lose a deal. And so just want to kind of go over some tactical things that we do. And I hope that can help you. God forbid, you lose a placement or 2. So first things first, you can use this as an opportunity to pick up new roles, right? You got to learn how to lick your wounds, be positive, and keep moving forward. Chances are, even if you lose a placement, I'm hoping that you did things correctly and you still impressed your client and you've built or you're on your way of building a great relationship. So chances are, if you lose something, use it. Don't lose a second of your time. Just stand up and be like, hey, we noticed that you're hiring for X, Y, and Z. Can we also pick that up? Do you also need help? Simple, low-hanging fruit. If you lose a role, perhaps your current client is hiring another role. Try to pick that up so that you remain busy. And they haven't just gotten around to posting it or changing their website.
Are you completely lost on how to implement AI or automation in your business? Are you struggling with getting responses from new clients? Are you an established recruiter who is struggling to level up or break 6 figures and beyond? Or do you have no idea how to even start a successful recruitment business at all, whether it's full-time or part-time? If any of these resonate with you, please check out the Recruiter School, a premier educational and coaching program that will teach you everything I've learned in the past decade that has helped me build over $5 million on my own desk, where I had also the chance to work with the best companies in the world. You'll learn everything from what is the best ATS to how to master client acquisition. What are the best plugins and tools? What are the best platforms to find candidates on? How do you optimize your website and even LinkedIn profile? Or how do you actually systematize your workflow with the best AI and automation? The best part, we will also personally handhold and be with you every step of the way through our one-on-one coaching, just to make sure you understand and implement everything perfectly. But don't just take my word for it. Since we launched, the number of success stories that we created have truly been jaw-dropping and amazing. Whether it's making 5 figures part-time, to picking up their first clients within the first couple days to a week, to now making $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 per month consistently, I could go on and on and on. So if you're interested to learn more, make sure you click on the link below to book a time. Since our schedule books up really fast, make sure you reach out quickly. See you on the other side.
If you're not sure, just ask, right? There's a lot of times companies are hiring or thinking about hiring and they haven't just gotten around to posting it or changing their website. So you can have a chance to pick up or work a new role that's not public yet, which is great because no competition from other recruiters, no inbound from job ads or descriptions. It's a win-win-win-win scenario. But the biggest thing here is just make sure that you ask. If you never ask, you'll just never get. The next thing is use the candidate in a different way. So number one, pitch the candidate. You can pitch them to other clients on your desk. This is why it's very important to be specialized, because if all you're doing is financial analyst roles in New York City, if you find a good candidate for one of your clients, there's a good chance they might be a great candidate for another. So I'm hoping by now you don't just have one client, you have 2, 3 to 5, you have good kind of momentum and activity on your desk. So immediately pitch your candidate to another client, right? Don't have you and the candidate sync and get stuck in some sort of lull. You want to quickly move with great speed and pivot and be like, hey, this is another great opportunity for candidates. Let's pitch them. Let's submit them. Let's start the interview process as fast as possible. You can also use that candidate, especially if they're amazing, they're top 1%, as as an MPC strategy for client acquisition to go and get more clients. So a candidate not only can help current book of business, a candidate can also be an amazing tool to go out there and get new clients. Next thing, you can also reach out to the candidate's previous employer. This is another really great hack. So chances are if the candidate has left or is already interviewing, but this is really more for those that just left their current job, you want to look at their LinkedIn profile, look at the resume and see what company that was, because chances are if your candidate left, they need to probably backfill that specific role. So I would reach out to them saying, hey, you may or may not be hiring, or hey, we came across an amazing candidate that might be a perfect fit for your role here on your team. Would you be open? And the probabilities that are now in your favor, even though it's a cold outreach, it's cold outreach with significant intent. You know that there is a hole in their team. You know that they're desperate to fill it. And the chances of you getting a response here is so much higher. So this is a really great tactic to use. Another one is ask the candidates for referrals. Candidates might be able to refer you to other candidates, which is great, but also other clients. It's not so much about who you know, it's who does your connection know, right? So you want to just not go into network, but go into their network and go into their network. And it's literally exponentially of how many people you can actually contact through just one person alone. So the biggest takeaway for this slide is use your candidates, and they can be so valuable for getting other interviews, getting other candidates, but also more importantly, helping you get the other client. It's also important. The third thing is really kind of manage expectations. So the situations like these hopefully don't happen often. So for example, one of our clients, they lowballed an offer that came out over $70,000, which is like insane. It's offensive. It's insulting. We were shocked. Another client was just shockingly aggressive with the candidates during the offer stage, pushing them even over the weekend to make a decision. Like, these things are huge red flags. And even though we talk about this at length during our intake calls and we manage expectations, there are still clients, unfortunately, like these that are still going to be very, very silly in their behavior and just turn off candidates, right? And what you don't want to do is not talk about these situations. What you do want to do is to mitigate them during your intake or launch call. This is something that we do at our agency and we teach people, is you want to go over best practices, expectations, things to do and things not to do. You want to make it very clear we're not just there to give them a resume. We are a partner to not only find and identify amazing talent, but to also accomplish our collective goal, which is to hire someone on their team at their company, right? And for that to happen, to have a good working relationship, they need to abide by certain rules, what they should do, what they should not do, so that you can have a really good working relationship. It's like starting any relationship in dating. This is what I like, this is what I don't like. And you want to over communicate that and make it super clear. We're all on the same side, right? So there should not be a huge power imbalance. Like, you can't just be like, okay, client, I'm just going to give you a resume. Like, you have to be confident coming to these conversations saying, hey, yes, this is competitive. This makes sense. This doesn't make sense. And just to make sure like things go well, please do this, please don't do this. And some of the basic things are don't lowball, please be professional. Don't be too pushy, especially during the offer late stages. Communicate really well, be accessible, basic stuff like that. But you'd be surprised that if you don't actually like overtly talk about it, how it would just past people's mind and they would just do the exact opposite, right? And the reason why it's so important to talk about this is you also want to work with clients that will listen to you, that they're coachable, right? Like, they don't know everything and we can provide significant value instead of just resumes, right? So ideally a client that's open-minded, that's coachable, that can hear you, typically in my experience, will make the best type of clients where it's not going to make life difficult. So definitely keep that in mind. Last but not least, you have to move on, right? So in this business, it's going to honestly feel like you're getting punched in the face, in the stomach, in the back, multiple times every single day, right? And I think the people who do well are the ones that not only understand how to recruit well fundamentally, but they're super strong emotionally, psychologically, and just in their brain, in their mindset, right? They know that tough times are about to happen. They know rejection and failure happens all the time. If it's out of your control, don't sweat it, move on and keep moving on, right? This happens. It's not just recruitment specific, it's business, career. Shit happens, crap happens all the time. You just got to be able to like expect it, embrace it, keep moving on. It's just part of the journey, and use it as a way to get smarter, use it as a way so that you can avoid such situations from happening again in the future, and understand that, hey, like, this is just part of leveling up. This is the price that you pay for just being a recruiter. It happens, right? Don't waste your time feeling sorry for yourself or getting depressed, because guess what? The market and no one else is going to waste time feeling sorry for you. Just try to understand what went wrong. How do you prevent this from happening again in the future? What can you learn from it? And keep moving on. And every time that you get up from the situation, you are wiser, you're stronger in strength, you're more confident, and you're just going to set yourself up for success. Get back, show up, and do it all over again step by step, guys. Recruiting is not just all sunshine and roses. It's also tough moments, but this is what makes recruiting awesome. This is what making business awesome. You can't have the ups without the downs, but if we're able to like be stronger on the downs, when you go up again, you're going to surpass your previous high and you go even higher, right? And that's just part of the journey, tracking upwards as a business owner, as a really successful recruiter. So I hope that this video helped you. I hope it gave you value. And yeah, if you have losses, if you have other tough things you have to stomach, let me know. I want to commiserate with you all, but let's get back on the horse, be positive, believe in ourselves, and keep going. See you on the next one.